What's going on, YouTube? Just took a quick stop to grab some tinder, and so we'll get this video started. A little out of shape. Got a decent sized pack on. I'm not planning for an overnight, but what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go out. We're gonna recon for a winter, like a bush camp, base camp, somewhere that I can come up to on a regular basis, continue to improve, get out and enjoy the mountains throughout the winter, and have a base camp to kind of set off on longer excursions or adventures or hikes instead of from the car every time. So we're gonna get doing that. I'm gonna grab some of this aspen birch from one of these dead aspens for some tinder for later. Aspen birch, that's not a thing. Aspen bark is a thing. Just saying. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna do a recon, and we're going to have a quick lunch. Whew! Gained a little weight this summer. I mean, I'm not a big guy to begin with, but gained a little weight, and a lot of the outdoor adventures were car camping and all that good stuff. So back on the trail feels good, but I can tell I didn't do it enough this summer. So let's go find a spot. I have an idea of where to look, and I know exactly what I'm looking for. So thanks for joining me. Like I said, I have an idea of what I'm looking for. I don't want to be too far in, because pretty soon I'm going to be doing this in snowshoes, and you just carry a lot more gear when you're out in the cold, sleeping, and sleep systems, and just everything's heavier. I kind of want to be in one of these deadfall areas because the ease of lumber, it's like walking into Home Depot over here. If you can look right behind me, building materials right there. Danger of that though is these are beetle kill deadfall areas, and you don't know what's going to come down next. So I gotta kind of find a happy medium. Being winter, I don't have to necessarily post up next to a water source. There is one down in there, and I can get to one fairly easily, but what's nice about the winter is there's snow everywhere, so drinking, cooking, all that good stuff's right outside your door. I don't have to factor in water, so what I want to factor in is not an extreme distance, supply for building, and wood. I'd like to get building before I'm completely buried in snow so that my shelter has a chance to get covered in the snow and it'll work as an insulator. So 4 trees in a square, like an 8-foot square, would be absolutely ideal. But we'll see what we can get. I'm gonna go up a couple more switchbacks here, and there's a spot I want to check out, and we'll get back with you. Whew. A little bit of elevation and a little bit out of shape. Feeling it. Feels good though. Pack feels good. Legs feel good. Just got to get the old cardio pumping. So I'll talk to you in a little bit. So here's a massive deadfall area, and this is all due to beetle kill. The highlands here are really bad right now. They could use a natural burn, if you ask me. Mother Nature take its course. But look at this. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now the Forest Service, the National Forest, comes in and maintains the trail, so you'll see some cuts, because here's the trail. So there's some old growths up in here that look really healthy. I don't know what you can see, and there's some rocks and some little things in here, so I'm going to go in here and see what I can find. I gotta kind of get through this mess. It'll get easier in the winter, sorta. Maybe come right up this way. But anyway, when you look at it from, I need building materials and a source of wood, that's not going to be a problem. The only problem, like I said before, is if this stuff's coming down all the time, what's next? I think right in at that old growth of those rocks, I mean, there's not much else that's going to come down right in that area. So we're going to go check that out, and hopefully find something in this area. This is what I had in mind. I've walked by this quite a few times. It always looks apocalyptic to me. But yeah, let's go check it out. So I dropped my pack off and I'm just kind of scouting. I really like these rocky outcrops. They present a lot of opportunity. The only thing is finding a flat spot. So I've got my first candidate. It breaks one criteria in the fact that I've come up over the hill and I'm exposed from any wind coming this way. All right, now we got this rock outcropping. Again, a little exposed. A little exposed. Got some views, but the way these rocks are, I think I could hunker down pretty good. If we could find a flat spot in something like this. I've got some small rocks there for building a fireplace, fire pit. I kind of want to build an all-out, real legit fire pit with a smoker. The shelter's going to be all out. So, I've got some options in here. Yeah, so now I'm in the thick of it now. I don't know, I've been walking around for a few hours. I just did a broadcasted live on Facebook. If you're watching this and you want to check it out, go on Facebook. Same title as the channel, Outdoor Life with Nick Laws. And there's a lot more going on there. Photos, some stuff I did this winter, live broadcasts, just some chit chat. So yeah, if you're watching this, check out the Facebook group, Outdoor Life with Nick Laws. There's a lot going on there too that doesn't make it to YouTube. All right, so I kept going farther and farther up there, and that gets me off one of my criteria also is ease of access. I don't want to have to traverse super deep through some pretty thick bush with some crazy terrain and 3 feet of snow all the time to get to the shelter. So I'm back in my pack. It's beautiful up there. I mean, if there was a water source somewhere up in there or close by, that'd be a fantastic site for, you know, springtime. But a little exposed coming off that side. It's a little windy today off and on, so I was able to kind of get an idea of how the wind's going to swirl. I mean, it'll change on me. These hills are all over the place, so you get different drafts. It's not just like a westerly or an easterly. But I got an idea of what's what, and I'm exposed on that side if I get up in there. So I'm back down to where I originally broke off the trail, and we're going to try to find something a little bit closer. And I think my biggest trouble here is that I'm not finding anything flat. So what I was looking at is that I can actually, if I have two trees parallel with the slope going down, is actually put a log across there and build a platform this way and actually make a place flat. So I think we're going to look into that. A little more work. That's nice too, because it gets me up off the ground. I can stuff underneath with pine or just block it off. It's another gap of air that potentially can be insulated. The only thing is my end that's going into the hill is where my fire is going to have to be. So I have to account for all these things. So we're going to take our time. I want to find a spot that's just going to be a blast to be in, something that I can continually improve and work on and really enjoy this winter out in the Rockies. So we're going to continue to look. All right. For real this time, I found a spot. I was just resourcing and literally like, I don't know, 50 feet away, I found a better spot. I've got great views through the trees. I've got access to this deadfall here. I do see there's a spot here that doesn't get any sun because there's snow. But I've got all this rock here to protect me, and it's hard to see on camera, but there's a really good tree layout. Dead widowmakers aren't an issue. I like this spot. So that's it. I picked a spot. Here, I'll switch the camera view around and we'll just look at it. This is going to be it. So I have a wall built for me here. This would be my access in. I come off the top of that rock to this tree, from this tree over into here, and this tree coming out of the top of this rock, let's see where my hand is a nice live tree. I can come off of that, off the top of the rock. I like it. Plenty of lumber there. There's actually a pretty good view through the trees. So we'll make it work. I don't know what you can hear. You're in the GoPro case now. We're just gonna get a little fire going just to boil some water. I don't know how much construction we're gonna get done today. It's getting late and this was just for a recon, but I found the spot. I'm pretty excited about it. I kind of looked around a little bit. I think especially once everything starts getting snowed in, I'm gonna really like this place. So what I got here is just the inner bark from some quaking aspens. Breaks up real fine. If you've watched my channel, you'll know that this is my go-to out here. It's probably the best tinder you're gonna find out here. So, all right, we got some nice pieces of fat wood here. Let's see if you can see that. Just gonna put a little bit of that in there as a fire extender, and then we'll use a ferro rod and get it started. Like I said, it doesn't have to be much of a fire. I literally am just boiling some water for a freeze-dried meal. I got Old Faithful with me today, the Gerber Prodigy. So let's see, we'll get some shavings in here. Just put a fresh edge on it. Just a joy to work with. I'm so impressed with this knife. The review for this knife is actually my most popular video. I'm not gonna ever be exclusively doing gear reviews, but if I see something that I really like and I think other people will like it too, then I'll do a review on it. So we'll get that going. Oh man, this is some good fat wood. I'm actually kind of near my stash where I found a really huge source of fat wood, so I'll have to go get some more soon, but this is just premium pieces. I got a bunch of little pieces like this and an Altoid that I keep in my kit. So I haven't used the ferro rod in a month or so, month or two. So sometimes you'll get a little bit of a coating, so you have to kind of clear a little bit off, and then you're good to go. Come on, baby. Like I said, no need for a rip roar. I'm not keeping warm. I don't have to sanitize my water. It's from home. It's in a canteen. So all I got to do is rehydrate a meal with it. I'm one stick in it, which if it was cold, it'd be going bigger, and it'd be covered in snow, and I wouldn't be worrying about fire safety. It is windy out. As you can tell, these woods are half dead. So we got fire. So we're just gonna kind of feed this in slowly. I want to create a small base of coals, but I don't want this big rip-roaring fire. Like I said, all I got to do is heat water. The wind is picking up significantly. I didn't really build a fireplace. I just got a few stones and dug out an area down to dirt. And so I got to keep just a close eye on things. The last thing you want is to let your fire get out of control in a forest like this, you know. So I'm keeping it very small, contained, manageable. I'm not going to leave it unattended. And really, I'm just burning a few sticks like this at a time just to create a coal base. Once I get a little coal base set and I don't have an open flame, I'll get my container and I'll get some water going in it. Another reason why I kind of pulled down the hill from that spot where I thought I was going to stay is, well, the sun angle is going to change. Middle of the winter right now, it's going to be dark. The angle is going to be a little bit lower, but I'm going to get that morning sun. And that's important in the winter to me. If you're in a spot where the sun's up, it's winter, that morning sun's huge. It's refreshing. It's that little bit of spark of warmth in the morning, because you're cold when you wake up and you're camping out in negatives. You're cold. You might not be freezing cold. You're not in danger, but you're not like cozy you are, like you are at home. So that morning sun is important to me at a winter camp. And so I'm going to have morning sun coming up right through that little clearing there into this area. So I think I may have a removable panel here for warmer days and access to that nice sky, that nice early morning sun. Or even just having the sun on the shelter first thing in the morning. Just gonna keep feeding in. I've got like whatever that is, 3/4 inch, 1 inch pieces, just feeding in to get a coal base, and we'll get some water going and do some eating. I don't think I'm gonna get into too much building. I'm gonna try to get up here as much as possible in the next, I don't want to be building this in a couple feet of snow. Last winter, before I got this YouTube channel started, we went up and did a camp, me and a buddy of mine, and we ended up digging a hole down in like 3-4 feet of snow and building a shelter over that, and that was a lot of fun. But this is going to be more permanent. It'd be nice to start getting some of the structure on and maybe a roof before the snow. So make a little series out of it maybe. I've gotten my kit down. This is my food sack. I've got enough food in here to do 2 days. Not, mowing and hanging around just to eat, but enough calories and protein for a couple days in this sack here. So we're, as time goes on, you perfect your kit more and more. You get tired of carrying 40 pounds. So, but that's another thing in the winter. You carry more weight, like I mentioned, not only with like your sleeping gear, your clothing, you burn more calories staying warm. And you spend more time in your shelter. So you usually carry more food too. So setting up a base camp is going to be really important to me. Still loving this, the Helicon Tech Matilda bushcraft backpack. Helicon Tech is quality stuff. Got my kitchen set put together myself. My tried and true 40 ouncer, and I brought some water. So we're gonna get some water going. Just thinking to myself, I hope I brought my spork. Not sure why. When I first got the GoPro, the picture was so great. Maybe it's just the transmission between the phone and the GoPro, but it used to just seem so crisp. Now I do a lot of it right off my phone. So if you see me looking down or over, it's because I'm looking at a viewfinder on my phone of what the GoPro's doing, because the GoPro doesn't have like an LCD screen on the back, no viewfinder. So, but what I figured over my shoulder here in the sun, because I think I mentioned it in a video before, I never changed any of the settings on the GoPro, but I feel it seems like it's so dark. And sometimes I can fix that in post. Like I said, I've been able to get a good meal a good amount of stuff in here. I've got an emergency energy drink if you got to do a push. I've got an oatmeal, freeze-dried oatmeal that I've been using for a while. Check out my videos. I really like these Trailtopia oatmeals. My beverage package. It's got some teas, some hot chocolate. Looks like another oatmeal. Some caffeine anyway. A couple of pour-over instant coffee filters. Two Cliff bars. A couple of Starbursts if you need just a little bit of sugar push. Heading out, just need a little bit of sugar, or you're almost at base camp, just give me a little sugar or something. You know, your belly's going, a little sugar. And down at the bottom I have my freeze-dried. Oh, and a pack of tuna fish. Good protein, some fats. And the Mountain House. So that was all in this, you know, 5x12 little sack. And that'll keep you going for a while. If you had to ration that, that's a few days. So the water's going. We're going to have some chili mac with beef, as usual. Got the cup out, so whatever's left for the water is going to go in here. We're going to make some tea, and we're going to enjoy that. So I'll get back to you here in a little bit once the water's going, and we get to eating. All right, we got a rolling boil. Rolling boil? Not a roiling boil. So, all we got to do is add water to the Mountain House. We're going to put the rest of the water into the stainless steel with a couple of tea bags. We'll let that steep, a little bit of caffeine, hydration, good with the meal, and we'll be good to go. And like I said, I don't think any kind of construction is going to happen today. We found the spot. I can get here lickety split. Not too far off the trail, but far enough. So that is good. I've got the little MSR pot grabber. Super lightweight. Comes in this little felt bag. You don't even know it's in your pack. I used to just use my multi-tool pliers. Grab the top, whatever, and that worked. This thing weighs nothing. It makes pouring so much easier. Again, like usual, I'm not measuring. Sometimes it's soupy, sometimes it's not. Perfect amount of water. And right now the fire just completely went out. It's got hot coals, there's no more flame, it's smoking. So perfect fire for what I had to do with the water. Perfect amount of water for what I got to do to eat and drink. So that worked out. All right, Mountain House is about rehydrated. I think we're going to call it. We're gonna eat and we're gonna skedaddle. I might spend a few minutes while I'm eating just kind of eyeballing exactly what I want to do with the shelter. I like the spot. Morning sun's gonna come up from there ish. I'm protected from the wind, and I've got plenty of, there's no widowmakers. I mean, these live ones could come down. This rock is nice because if something does come down, I should be okay. I like it. A lot of work to do, and I want to get a lot of it done before it's covered in snow. So anyway, I want a functional fireplace inside the shelter, and it's going to require a lot of gathering of stones, and I have to do it right. I was watching was it season 6 of Alone in the Arctic there, and like 4 of them lit their shelters on fire. You got to be careful, man. I understand they're completely exhausted and, you know, on the verge of hallucinating, but still, you don't want to light your shelter on fire. So fire inside, you just got to take your time and set it up right. And I don't want to do the fire outside with the super shelter clear plastic front. I am going to have a tarp in the roof. I have a little camouflage tarp. But other than that, I want to use natural materials. I'm going to put tarp on the roof. But I don't want a bunch of clear plastic for a super shelter. Those are really nice. But that's not what I'm going for here. So, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll try to get this edited and up as soon as possible. Like I mentioned before, if you would like to, head over to Facebook and look for the Outdoor Life with Nick Laws Facebook group. Photos, chit chats, things that don't make it here onto the YouTube channel end up there. Announcements like when certain things are going to come on to the YouTube. It's growing. There's quite a bit of members, and it's nice. I post something and then it says down in the corner, however many people have seen it, and so yeah, my Yellowstone pictures are in there. So yeah, check it out. Outdoor Life with Nick Laws on Facebook. Other than that, I am done. I'm gonna eat. I'm hungry. And it felt good to get out, man. I already, like I've said before, like it takes a little to decompress. And I'm decompressing. The sun on my back here. I'm laying in the dirt / pine needle stuff. And I'm ready to eat. Feels good. So thanks for watching. God bless. And I'm looking forward to getting back into the YouTube real steady. So I missed it. Thanks, guys. God bless. Have a great day.